everybody, welcome to Body Love Fitness. It is our circuit class today. Today we have our hybrid of mobility and strength. So we're keeping it chill because it's still hot in my house. For today's class, you will need a pillow or a bender ball or one of those Pilates balls, a chair if you've got it. In terms of weights, I have my two 2 pounds and my two 4 pounds. We're doing Arnold presses. So because that's over our head, sometimes it's nicer to keep the weights a little lower. So have a couple of options ready for you, but know that using no weight at all is also a valid option. Yeah, let's go for a walk. Hips and ribs hugging together, shoulders are back and down. Big deep breath all the way in, all the way out. Nice. When you're exhaling, think about lifting up the pelvic floor. It's working at the same time as your diaphragm. 4, 3, 2, side to side. We just wanted to come along for the ride. So we're nice and easy this morning, a little slower to start as we are at the very beginning of our warm-up. Thinking about those shoulder blades moving around our rib cage. Ribs are hugged down, hips and ribs are hugging in together. Woo, 4, 3, 2, legs nice and wide into butt kickers. Nice work. Yeah, I don't think I've worked out since last Wednesday. I think it was the last time I worked out. And I did my own workout yesterday, or Wednesday too. Was it Wednesday? And I hadn't done my own workout in a long time, and I missed it. I'm very excited to be able to fit that back into my life again. 4, 3, 2, knees up. Now, I mean, you could ask me, have you worked out since Wednesday? And the answer is no. No, absolutely, I did not. But we're here. We're doing what we can. Draw those shoulder blades down your back. Lift your head up long and tall. Don't forget to exhale. 4, 3, 2, heel taps forward. Excellent. Look at us showing up, picking an option that makes sense to us. I love the fact that there is a cardio and a mobility option. 4, 3, 2, back to your march. So August is coming. It's almost upon us. Things will be shifting in August a little bit more. I'll be getting a new camera, so hopefully your visual will change. I'm going to toy with some editing, so the video's quality and presentation might change. 4, 3, 2, side to side. We are also toying with the idea of having more options for classes, not more classes, but more recordings per class, with the hopes that that is going to give you a little bit more to play with. More options is always good, and then you can repeat the same one over and over again if you really like it. That's going to help you get better at those exercises. Lean into how you feel a little more. 4, 3, 2, legs nice and wide into butt kickers. So yes, August, I feel very much like it's going to be a changing month for me, with hopefully the website and all things ready September 1st. We'll see for our little soft launch. 4, 3, 2, knees up. We're maybe a little bit bigger now because we're a little warmer, not moving into pain. We're not tucking in the tailbone. Hips and ribs are hugging in together. Like we've put that corset on. The back sides and front all feel nice and secure. 4, 3, 2, heel taps forward. Almost there. So we have descending sets as usual. 50 seconds. Nope. 60 seconds, 50 seconds. 40, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. Let's bounce. Feet are hip distance apart. Let's shake it out. See if we can move that body. Get our muscles, our joints to compress a little bit here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Roll those shoulders. Ooh, my body's singing. Okay, feet are going to stay hip distance apart. Arms are out in front, hips and ribs hugging in together. Hips are staying forward. Big deep breath. Exhale to open. Inhale back. Keep those hips forward. Keep no change in your feet. So your feet should be feeling exactly the same. Your weight should not really shift side to side. If it is, that means that your hips are probably coming with you. Last one or two, even yourself out. I'm going to do two. Exhale for that last one. Yes. All right, give that a little roll out. Let's get our hips involved here. So I'm going to have a little bit of support. Toe on the ground, some circles. Warming up our feet and ankles, knee, lower part of our hip. Brace the core. When you're ready, move it up. One more. Toe on the ground, other direction. That's right. Brace that core. Here we go. Same leg, last circle. Good to keep the whole joint lubricated. Give that a wiggle. Go to the other side. Toe on the ground, circles to start. Get that whole foot talking to you. Whenever you're ready, brace the core, move it up. You got it. Toe on the ground, last time here, other direction. Brace the core, hips and ribs hug in together. Shoulder blades are slightly going down your back. I think we forget how important that action is. One more. Our shoulder blades are very involved in core strength and stability. They go all the way down. There's a muscle here and a group of fascia here that helps to keep everything nice and tight and stable. We want to talk to that fascia. Okay, are we ready? Have we done everything? I think we have. We are going into hip cars to start because our first one is lower. So our first section is hip cars, squats, and lunges. Because, why not? So we're going to do our hip cars to warm up those hips. Hips and ribs are going to hug in together. Shoulders are back and down. One leg to start. We're coming up, out to the side. Rotate that foot and knee. And then squeeze to the back. Knees come together. Brace that core. We're back. Rotate out to the side. Toe comes down. Feet comes down. Back to the front and back down. One more on this side. Up. Out. Rotate, back, knees together. Last time, back to the side, rotate, front, and together, other side. Brace that core. Up, out, rotate, behind, and together. We want to do two in each direction. So we're starting our last one here. Up, open, rotate, to the back, and together. Last time. And then give that a little wiggle. That was perfect timing. Okay, we're going for our squat. So feet are going to be a little bit more than hip distance apart. This is hip distance, so I'm going more shoulder distance apart. Hips and ribs hug in together, shoulders are back and down. We're going to a full squat, all halfway up and then all the way down. So all the way down, halfway up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, halfway up, all the way down, all the way up. So you're just sticking a half squat in between each full one, keeping those muscles turned on a little bit longer. Woo! Let's think about what's happening in our body. So our knees are in line with our toes. It is okay with me if you are slightly hinged forward, as long as your back is secure here. So I don't want you rounding forward. I want your chest to stay lifted. Woo! Are we pausing in the end of those squats? And if you want, you can also just do regular squats. You do not have to do your half one in between. We've only got 8 more seconds here though. 3, 2, and 1. Give that a shake. Okay, we're going to reverse lunges. So I'm going to pretend I'm holding something in front here. Feet are going to start at about hip distance apart. Keep your feet about that same distance apart as you step back. Are we ready? Here we go. Step back, drop, up, and switch. You got it. So once you've got that pattern, you can move a little bit more fluidly. Just make sure that those hips aren't rotating out. Keep them facing forward the whole time. Shoulders are back and down. We are not clenching our jaw. We are long and tall through our head. Woo! That core is braced, so we're not feeling any pressure in the lower back as we drop down and come back up. Squeeze your hips and ribs in together a little more if you start to feel any conversation in that lower back. 15 seconds. Whew. We're going straight to our upper, starting with our mobility coming up next. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're doing our scapular push-ups. So you'll need a wall for that, or without, it's fine. But you want to be at shoulder height, shoulder distance apart with those hands. Hips and ribs are going to hug in together. Elbows are staying solid. Chest is coming towards the wall. Shoulder blades move together. Chest moves away from the wall. Shoulder blades move away. We do this one relatively frequently. So if this is one that is uncommon to you, or you're not entirely sure what you're supposed to be feeling, you can always reach out to me. But the objective here is that our shoulder blades are moving around the rib cage, closer together and then farther apart. Once you get used to that sensation, can we come to the back and pull your shoulder blades down your back and then bring them back to the front? So reach back, pull them down, and then push your body away from the wall so your shoulder blades come away from each other. Nice work. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Give that a shake. We're going to grab our Arnold press weight. So I'm going to grab my 4-pound weights. I wouldn't go more than 5, especially if this is unfamiliar. Hips and ribs are going to hug in together. Shoulders are back and down. We're coming to a 90-degree bend here. And then we're opening those hands up and pressing up, back to 90 and back together. So shoulder blades are moving together. They're pressing up. And then when your elbows come back together again, you're feeling those shoulder blades move away from each other again. So should feel a little similar to that scapular push-up we just did. Obviously, there's a whole lot more involved in this one. Keep those ribs hugged down. When we are pressing the weights over our head, your shoulder blades are moving around your rib cage, but hopefully not directly up towards your knees. No, not knees, ears. So try to make sure that when you are letting them, your hands come up, you're pulling your shoulder blades just gently down. You're just kind of keeping some muscle control there. 10 seconds. Woo, I do love an Arnold press. They are my favorite. 2 and 1. All right. I'm going to grab my lighter weights, but you might not want to use any weights at all for this one. We're going into a reverse fly. So I'm going to start with these 2 light weights here. Hips and ribs are going to hug in together. Knees are bent and the bum goes back behind us. Palms are going to face together. Shoulder blades are back and down. The fly is squeezing those shoulder blades together again. So exhale, squeeze up. Shoulder blades are drawing together. We also would like to feel our whole shoulder blade moving here, not just the lower part. So see if you can almost let your thumbs come up away from the ground slightly. See if that changes any sensation in those shoulder blades. I also love, you know me, I love a pause. So when you're in the back of this fly, see if you can squeeze a little more, get a little more juice out of those muscles. We're over halfway. We shouldn't feel our back talking here. So just make sure that we do have a bend in our knee and that our bum is pushed back behind us. That's putting us into a hinge. 5 seconds. Woo! Nice, and done. Excellent work. Okay, the last 3, we're going into our spinal cars. So we're going in both directions, one and then the other in our spine. And then we're going to do some plank stuff. So have your chair close by. Arms are across, hips and ribs hugging together. I'm going to create a bend in my back. And then I'm going to rock around I'm drawing a circle with my shoulders and my tailbone. I'm moving as slow as I can, always being mindful of whether I felt any pain or discomfort. So when I get to the front, I go around the other direction. So I'm just alternating which direction I'm going in, and I'm trying to move as big and as slow as I can. We are over halfway. Don't forget that breath. So important. And we have time to think about it. We're in our last 15 seconds here. Finishing off with some core work here. So we just got to warm it up. 5, 4, 3. When you get to the top, roll yourself back up. Woo, okay, I'm gonna have a seat with my pillow or my little ball. I'm at the edge of my chair. This is going between my thighs, not my knees. Wiggle yourself forward, hips and ribs hugging together. Feet are relatively close together here. We're gonna squeeze that ball. 3, 2, hold the last squeeze, exhale and twist. Come back to center. 3, 2, hold and twist. So it's a combo move, right? We're doing 2 different things. So if you're confused, you can always just pick one, whether that is the twist, whether that is the squeeze. Halfway. I'm going to encourage everyone to just have a little bit of squeeze, even if you're not pulsing. Woo! And those oblique twists, we want to feel it right around our rib cage, just below. And it is not about how big you're making this movement, right? It's about what you're feeling in your body. Woohoo! I love a twist. What can I say? We've got less than 10. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to find a plank. So the plank can be from the wall, from the ground, whatever you so desire. Countertop, stairs. You're going to have your hands at shoulder height, not all the way above. They're at shoulder height. So you're stacked with your shoulders, elbows, and wrists. Hips and ribs hug in together. Shoulders are back and down. Whenever you're ready, we're in it. You can be on the floor on your knees and elbows. You can be on the wall with me with your feet and your hands. Wherever we have landed, we want to push that mat away and draw the shoulders back down again. So think of those scapular push-ups where we were pushing our shoulder blades away from each other, and then draw them down. Lift your head up long and tall. Core is braced here, hips and ribs hugging in together. We're halfway. I hope that you're still breathing. All the way in, all the way out. On those exhales, lift up your pelvic floor. I'm going to add some taps to mine at the wall here. We've got 15 seconds. Do whatever feels like a challenge to you today. Maybe that was just showing up. Maybe that's picking a harder option. Maybe you're on the ground. 4, 3, 2, 1. A minute. Give yourself a little shake. Grab some hydration. I'm glad we're not doing cardio. I'm like sweating just standing here. All right, 1 minute. Let's see how this goes. So we're not changing anything today. So that's what we're staying with. So we've got the same amount of mobility, the same mobility drills. I don't know if I said this before, but it's cute. Did you hear that they caught the produce bandit? He stopped to take a leak. Ha 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 ha. Sundays are always a little sad, but the day before is Saturday. Is a Saturday. 27 seconds. Singing in the shower is fun until you get soap in your mouth, and then it becomes a soap opera. Okay, we are starting in 15. We're going back to our hip cars. I'm going to try not to sweat all over the place. I'm going to start with my left leg this time. I started with my right leg last time, so try to alternate. We are shorter this time in terms of timing, so you might want to go either doing one and then do one rotation each direction, not 2. Brace the core. And maybe because we're doing a little less, we're just doing one leg in 2 directions. We can go a little slower. Woo, I'm going on to the other side. We've got 32 seconds. We're going to be a little early here. So slow it down. When I get to the top of this, I've got about 18 seconds left. I'm gonna do some calf pumps. So it just means I'm alternating which heel I'm lifting up, getting a little bit of mobility through my feet and my ankles. We've got 8 seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Give that a shake. Okay, we ready? We've got our squats. Feet are wider than hip distance apart. Hips and ribs hugging in together. Shoulder blades are back and down, long and tall, down full, up half, down full, all the way up. Ready? Here we go. Drop it down, up, down, all the way up. Don't forget that delicious pause. Might not feel as delicious on your body as you're doing these exercises, but my oh my, does it ever make us stronger? Can I just make sure that your knees are not collapsing in, especially as we're coming up in that half squat? Check to make sure that your knees are still in line with your toes. 17 seconds. Brace that core so we don't have any mobility or tucking in that lower back. We want everything to be so secure and solid. Nice work. 2 and 1. Shake it out. We're going to our reverse lunges. You can hold a weight in your hand if you'd like. My feet are going to be hip distance apart, maybe slightly wider than that. Brace the core, shoulders back and down. Here we go. Step it back. Drop. Up. Switch. We want to make sure that those hips aren't moving around too much. So as I step back, quite often my hips will want to rotate back with me. So I like to hold on to my hips to remind me to not do that. And then I also want to make sure my core is really engaged just before I drop down. That's going to help my hips stay forward and also my back stay nice and protected. 15 seconds. It doesn't matter to me how far you make these lunges. That's not the point. 10. Nice job. 3, 2, 1. All right, legs are done for a bit. We're going to our scapular push-ups. So you're at the wall. We're going to try to draw a little box this time. So bring your hands to shoulder distance apart, hips and ribs hug in together. Woo! Okay, let's bring our chest towards the wall. Drop the shoulders down, push the wall away, pull the shoulders up. So you're just going to draw a little box with the tip of your shoulder. Your shoulder blades are coming along for the ride. You are trying to make them as big range of motion as you can. Woo! Can we go in the other direction now? So you're up, press away, drop it down, and together. We've got 15 seconds. Up, push away, drop it down, together at the back. Last time. Well, maybe we've got one more. Woo! Nice work. Give that a little shake. I just love mobile shoulder blades. They're very important. Okay, we're going into our Arnold press. Whichever weight choice you need to, I might have to drop a weight here. My shoulder's not happy. Hips and ribs hugging together, little bend in those knees. Shoulder blades are back and down. 90 degrees. We're open. And press. There we go. Bodies are so funny. Sometimes you need to work through it. So just as a little backstory or a little story about my shoulder, it's always the one that bothers me a little bit. It's the one where I feel like if I was to not be mobile, I would probably have frozen shoulder in it. So there is an element of discomfort pretty much always. It changes, but it always stays kind of below a 3 out of 10. So sometimes I can push into that 3 and give it a break and come back and it feels okay. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I have to drop the weight altogether. 6 seconds. Pain is definitely telling you something. Nice job. Shake that out. It doesn't always mean stop, but it definitely means pay attention to me. I'm going to grab my lighter weights now and go into that reverse fly. So hips and ribs hugging together. Bend the knees and then push your bum back behind you. Draw the shoulder blades back and down, palms face together, and we squeeze up. Little bend in the elbows. When we get to the top, can we pulse 3, 2, 1? And if your weights are like, no, I can't do that, then don't do it. But if you have lighter weights like me, and that range of motion feels safe and comfortable for you, I would like you to feel the shoulder blades moving together rather than anything creeping up towards your ears. So if you're feeling this in your neck, can you draw your shoulder blades down a little more? Just keeping that core nice and braced. We're getting our muscles around the lower part of our shoulder blades involved here. 5 seconds. They are super important. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay, time for our core. Ooh, I'm gonna grab a light weight here. I'm gonna grab one of my 4-pound weights for the spinal cars. You can grab a weight if you want to, but you don't have to. Hips and ribs hug in together gently. We're gonna create that C shape in our spine. And then nice and slowly, all the way around. So we've got 50 seconds here. So let's move a little slower, as long as there's no pain. Both directions. Seeing if we can feel any new sensation, any deeper movement. Being mindful of how big we're making this if our back is not happy. We've got 19 seconds left. Remember that when we get to the end, we're gonna roll up nice and slow. Got 6 seconds left, so I'm gonna make it to the end here and roll my body up. Woo! Okay, have a seat. Let's go for our oblique twists. My favorite variation of an oblique twist. At the edge of your chair, ball is between your thighs, hips and ribs hugging together, shoulders back and down, squeeze. 3, 2, hold, exhale, and twist. Woo! I mean, if you really want to mess with your brain, you can also pulse. 3, 2, 1, come to the front. 3, 2, 1, exhale. 3, 2, 1. I'm not going to count that out. I feel like if you want to do that, you will make that happen. I do love a little pulse. I think because it coincides so well with a pause, right? We're getting into the juice of that muscle. We're learning it. We're talking to it. Try to drop those shoulders. Loosen your jaw. We're almost there. We've only got under 10 left. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's find our plank. Planking. Floor, wall, whatever you would like, whatever you so desire. I'm gonna be at the wall again with some taps. Hips and ribs hug in together. Embrace your core, shoulders back and down. Opposite hand to opposite shoulder if you wanted to add some taps. Wherever you have landed, if you are trying to struggle through a floor plank, that is where I want you to be, as long as you're happy. Draw your shoulders back and down, push them away. Brace that core. If you want it to be a little harder wherever you are, you can bring your feet closer together. That would probably be more helpful if you were at a countertop or the wall, probably not from the ground. Adding those taps is great as long as you're not rushing through them, so please move with your breath if you've added taps. 15 seconds. And the whole goal to add taps is to decrease the shifting side to side in our hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, and done. Yes, good work. Okay, one more round. Time for a little hydration break. It is so sweaty. There's like a ton of humidity in this house. It is definitely a day to open up all the windows and see if we can let some of this out. Okay, how do we feel? Let's check in with our body. I feel like I definitely have more mobility in my body. My shoulder isn't as angry, but it's still chatty. I massaged yesterday, so I hate to think it, but I think that's probably part of the culprit. It's fine, you know, bodies are bodies. We've got 30 seconds left. Is there any sort of like aches and pains that you felt during the mobility? that maybe would give you an option to like slow down and move into it a little more. We've done this twice now. So this last mobility drill, it's a really great opportunity for you to kind of dig into something that feels a little uncomfortable, not painful, but something that you might want to work through. We've got 10 seconds left. Okay, hip cars are coming. We're going to do singles again. So one in each direction, each side. Brace the core, shoulder back and down. Here we go. Up, out, keep those hips forward. Rotate to the back and together. Just as long as you are not moving at all through your trunk, you're trying not to lift that hip up towards your shoulder. I'm going to switch sides. You're trying to move it just in that hip socket. Now, I know that I probably move around too. I do my best not to, but bodies are designed to do that, so it's a hard thing to override. What's important is just getting used to knowing how that feels. Give that a little shake out. 2 and 1. Ooh, okay. Here we go. Feet are about shoulder distance apart, hips and ribs hugging together, shoulders back and down. Last of our squats. Here we go. Drop it down. Up, down, all the way. Nice work. We can go down slow. 3, 2, 1. Halfway. Ooh. All the way up. Down slow. 3, 2, 1. We've got 15 seconds left. We can do this all day long. 3, 2, 1. Halfway. All the way. And done. Okay, give that a shake. We're going back to our lunges. Check in with your lower back. If that's been bothering you, you're going to reduce the amount of movement you're making. You're also going to make sure you're hugged in here. Here we go. So maybe you don't go down as far. Maybe you don't bend those knees as much. Whatever makes the most sense for you. We do lunge through our day, so it's important to get good at that or to get comfortable with that. It is one of the ways that you want to be able to get up and down from the ground. 14 seconds. Whew. Hips and knees and ankles are all bending here. And feet. 3, 2, 1. Done. Okay. Shake that out. What's next? Woo! Our scapular push-ups. Find a wall. Whenever you're ready, hips and ribs hug in together. Moving those shoulder blades. So again, maybe you're going to find that circle again. So they push away. They come up, together, and down. Push away, up, together, and down. One more in this direction, and then we're going to switch it up. So press away, drop down, together, and up. 10 seconds. Nice work. I hope that you're breathing. 2 and 1. Oh, shoulder blades that move are just so great. Okay, we're going into our Arnold press. Whatever you feel is best with your weights. Hips and ribs hug in together. Little bend in those knees. Up we go. Keep your ribs hugged down. Don't let them come with you. This is all about the top of the shoulder muscle, not the neck, and the muscles around your shoulder blades. So some of them are holding the shoulder blade down. Some of them are moving it with control around. We want nice, stable, and strong shoulder blades. That is one of the only things that's going to help our shoulder be nice and strong is making sure that all aspects of this shoulder blade are working properly. 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Okay, whatever you want to do for those flies, maybe it's no weight at all to finish us off. I'm going to grab these 2. Hips and ribs hug in together. Bend the knees. Bum goes back with your back nice and straight. Squeeze it up. Palms are facing together. We're going to tip the thumbs slightly away from the ground a little more, just opening up through the front of the shoulder. Maybe you are pausing or pulsing. Don't rush through it wherever you've landed. Coming up and down out of that movement quickly is effective, but you're just missing so much opportunity. That squeeze is where we have most of our muscle engagement, most of our muscles are working there. So it's the opportunity to make all those muscle fibers nice and strong. One more squeeze. Awesome. Okay. We're going into our cars, our spinal cars. I'm going to grab my 4-pound weight again. Hips and ribs hug in together. Nice curve, and then you're drawing a circle with your tailbone and your shoulders. Nice and slow. Big deep breaths here, one direction and then the other. Making sure we are breathing, not moving into pain. 12 seconds. So good. This is just so juicy. 3, 2, roll yourself up. Okay, 2 more movements. Oblique twist. Oh no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Here we go. Hips and ribs hug in together, shoulders back and down. Big deep breath in. Exhale, squeeze. 3, 2, hold and twist. Back to the center. Squeeze. 3, 2, hold and twist. Woo! So we're getting our body strong in rotation by doing this. We are also taking some of the work out of the lower back and putting it more into the muscles and the vertebrae above, which is just going to help to share the load in a nice, strong, supportive way. Nice work. We've got one more squeeze, right? Here we go. Squeeze this side. And then we're going to find our plank. Okay, let's find our plank. I'm going to pause until you're ready, because it's a fast timer. I'm going to give you 5 more seconds to find out where you need to be for your plank. 3, 2, 1. Whenever you are ready, here we go. Last one, best one. Shoulders are back and down. Find the movement that feels good for you. So whether you have gone to your elbows, whether you've gone to your knees or your toes, wherever you are, draw the shoulder blades down your back, push that wall away. Yes, breathe all the way in, all the way out. A little gentle tuck back with your chin is a really good idea, just a gentle one. 12 seconds, beautiful. Don't forget your breath, lift up that pelvic floor. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Okay, we're gonna shake it out. Whenever you get here, I'm just gonna start shaking. You come here when you're ready. Maybe you're on the ground and you need to do a little cat-cow. Maybe you need to do a little child's pose. Whatever you got to do to get yourself ready. We're just going to move. Maybe we have some water. Rolling my shoulders one direction, then in the other. All right, let's do a little reach to the side. One direction and then the other. Feel that side body stretch. Nice work. We're going to pick one side, and I want you to bring your leg behind your other leg and lift that same arm up. We're pushing out a little bit from our hip. If this makes you feel unsteady, separate those feet. One more breath. Nice work. Release and go to the other side. One foot steps behind, that same arm comes up. We're looking to feel a stretch along the side of our body. Particularly with this, we might feel it just around our hip. One more breath. And release. Whew, okay, right leg is going to come back behind us. We're going to keep that heel on the ground. And we're going to bend into this front leg. Big deep breaths all the way in and out. Feel that stretch in the back of the heel, the back of the calf. We're going to come out of it slightly. I'm going to keep that heel on the ground still and bend the back knee, moving into a soleus stretch. So it's a deeper stretch in that calf muscle group. One more breath. all the way up. We're gonna bring this right leg all the way through. Nope, nope, we're not doing that yet. Right leg is back behind, up onto your tippy toes, tuck in this pelvis and then sink yourself down. I forgot the quad. We can't do that. In this position here, I like to keep some tension in my glutes and push my hips slightly forward. That not only gets me more of a stretch in the front of the hip, it's also going to help to keep my back nice and strong here. One more breath. Hey, David. All the way out of that gently. Now we can come into the hamstring stretch. So that same right leg is heel down, toe up. Support yourself with your bent leg. Hey, Dave. Oh, look, you're showing off you've come to say hello. That's nice. Lift your head long and tall away from your shoulders. Big deep breath. And then all the way up. Little stretch out, other side. Hi. I'm going to go for my calves first. So 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. My back leg is going to stay with the heel down. I'm going to bend into this front leg here. Ooh. Nice big stretch along the back part of our lower leg. This might feel a little more general, although we're all tight in different spots in those calf muscles. So try to lean into the spot that feels like it's a good stretch, but not where it's painful. Gently come on out of that. We're going to stay with this stance, but we're going to bend that back knee. Moving in a little deeper. Big deep breaths all the way in and all the way out. If you are a local to Campbellford, or if you don't mind a hike, I am starting a walking group on Fridays. It's free. It's at 5:30. We're going to walk around the canal. Come on out of that gently. So if you're interested in learning more about that, let me know. Back onto this toe on the back leg, hips and ribs hugging in together, and then I'm going to sink myself down. I've got a little bit of a squeeze in my glutes, pushing those hips slightly forward here, so I'm feeling a stretch in my hip flexor in the front. Long and tall through your body. One more breath. Nice work. Gently come on out of that. We're going to bring that heel down, toe up. Hi, baby. Push your bum back behind you. Little bend in that knee just to make sure it's not all the way extended. Big deep breaths. The other thing I like to do here is lift up the tailbone slightly. See how that feels any different. One more breath. And then all the way back out, give that a little shake. Whew. Let's come into a nice wide stance here with our feet facing forward. We're gonna bend one knee, opening up through this inner thigh. My back is straight the whole time here, my bum goes back. And then the same thing, if you wanna lift up your tailbone slightly here, you're gonna feel it a little more, maybe in the back or in the inside of your groin or your thigh. One more breath. Nice and tall, come out of that, give it a wiggle. Other side. Bum goes back. And then we think about that lift in the tailbone. We have to remember too that you're not, I mean, your body is different every day, right? So we all show up in a different body every day. But all of our bodies are so very different that my cue when I say you should feel it here, if you're not tight in that spot, you won't feel it there. Come up nice and slow. And you might feel it in a different muscle. So just don't assume that you're wrong. I hate the idea of people thinking that they're wrong. One arm's going to come across. Bodies are different. And ideally, you're feeling it somewhere around that area. And if you're not, that might be a good reason to talk to me or reach out to the group. And not because it's wrong, but because maybe your position is slightly off and we can get that muscle to stretch in a different way. That's all. You're just communicating with your body. Give that a shake at other side. And I'm here to help facilitate that conversation. So hopefully the mobility was a good option for you today. Hopefully you chose right. I mean, I feel fantastic. Give that a little shake. I'm going to reach behind. So I hope you do too. I feel awfully sweaty for someone who did not do any cardio. But here we are in the thick of July, almost in August. Hard to believe. Gently release, other side. Keep those ribs hugged gently down. It's once again going to protect your lower back. Good things to keep in mind whenever, even if like you're walking for long periods of time and you find that your lower back gets tired, engage that core and squeeze your glutes. See if you can shift which muscles are working. Give that a little shake out. Nice work. Okay, palms face up. Draw those shoulders back and down. Lift your head up long and tall. Let's feel a stretch in the front of our chest here. Maybe we think about moving our elbows slightly forwards. We're opening up through the front of our shoulder a little bit more. It's a very subtle movement. It might feel big, so make sure that you are mindful about how you're moving your body here. All the way up, little leans one side and then the other. Beautiful. And then both hands reach all the way up. Big deep breath in. Exhale to release. Give yourself a big hug and a pat on the back for a job well done. Woo! Thank you so much for coming to class today. What an amazing job you did. I am so proud of you. I am in the dark. Maybe the next time you see me, I might be on a better camera. We'll see if I can figure it out by then. But it's coming. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day. Be gentle with yourself. Say something nice about yourself. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.